Hi, everyone. Welcome to Waste 360's Nothing Wasted podcast. On every episode, we invite the most interesting people in waste, recycling, and organics to sit down with us and chat candidly about their thoughts, their work, this unique industry, and so much more. So thanks for listening and enjoy this episode. Hi, everyone. This is Liz Bothwell from Waste 360 with Mike Fernandez, Director of the Miami-Dade Department of Solid Waste Management. And he's also a cherished Waste 360 40 Under 40 alum. Hi, Mike, and thanks for being on the show today.
Good morning. Good morning, Liz. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me on the show today. Really an honor to be here.
Well, I'm happy to have you, and I'm thrilled that I've seen your promotion, and we have a lot to catch up on since you won your award. So I know you've worked your way up in your career, but could you please share more about your background for everyone else and the journey of how you ended up in your current role with Miami-Dade?
Oh, sure. So I started back. Oh, wow. I started back 25 years ago, I think. Yeah, back in 1996, 97, as a temp, basically. I started as a temp. Remember, they gave me a call, the temp agency gave me a call and said, hey, you want to work at this garbage company? I was like, garbage? Really? Garbage? And they're like, yeah, try it out, see what you think. So then I went to work for a company called Browning Ferris Industries, also known as BFI, down in Miami. And spent some time there, worked my way into the operations, became a dispatch supervisor, roll-off supervisor, and then finally ops manager over the roll-off line of business. And then decided to move on to the public sector somewhere around 2005. I remember 2005 because that was a year of hurricanes. We had that was Wilma, Katrina, and I think they hit New Orleans as well. But I came through Florida, and I remember starting a job in this little city called City of Hallandale Beach. It's located in Broward County down in Florida here. And, it was like almost running like a little district office, like in the private side, like a little mini hauling firm where they had automated residential, commercial front-end load, grapple trucks, etc. And then I moved on to joining Miami-Dade County around 2008. And really, that was the first time I was exposed to the post-collection side of things, and really in a really big operation. I joined the county, Miami-Dade County, running all their transfer stations. It was a I remember it was a $25 million operation, about 150 employees. It was operating 3 transfer stations, about 600,000 tons a year, and some satellite transfer hauling operations off the landfills and waste to energy facility that we have. And really overall, it was about 1 million tons a year we were hauling. It was really a great opportunity just to dive into the post-collection side of the waste industry. And then after that, I got promoted to assistant director of disposal operations. So on top of the transfer operations, they said, hey, we want you to take care of all the landfills too in Miami-Dade County. I was like, okay, I'll do that too. So I started managing a class 1 landfill, nice sized landfill, about a little over half a million tons a year. And then a class 3 landfill we have maybe about 250,000 tons a year. And then an ash monofill that really is for our waste to energy facility, which is another 150. And overall, I was about 800,000 tons a year I was managing on the landfill side, and on top of the transfer operations. And then they said, hey, we want you to do the code enforcement in the county, which, I had never really dealt with code enforcement, only on the private side, but it was really interesting. So we handle all the waste code enforcement in the county, and I was in charge of that. And then I think around when when I went up to Waste 360 for that 40 under 40, around that time I got promoted again and became the deputy director over the waste operations. So now, on top of everything I already had of the disposal side, they said, "Hey, we want you to take care of the waste collection side as well, the hauling side." And so they gave me it was about 350,000 households, 150 residential routes daily, and over 100 grapple trucks for bulky waste, about 13 neighborhood drop-off sites for residential drop-off of bulky furniture, things like that. Some commercial, household hazardous waste sites, and basically, and mosquito control. Mosquito control is a part of this portfolio down here. So back in 2016, we dealt with that whole Zika outbreak down here, and I was part of that leadership team. So they said, "Hey, you can do that too." And overall, I mean, it was really the responsibility of about 1.8, 1.9 million tons a year of waste that we have here, but running just the operations. And then a few years later after that, they said, "Hey, we want you to become the director of the whole department. Just run the financials, run everything, the administrative part. We have our own accounting, our own HR, procurement. They want me to do all that." And so I did. So I essentially becoming the director of the department. I'm basically the CEO and / COO at the same time, because I'm still kind of involved with the day-to-day operations. But I'm basically the CEO, CO of the department. We're talking about half $500 million operation, about 1,100 employees, both in the waste collection, disposal, including mosquito control. I was serving about 2.8 million residents in the county. We're really known as one of the largest in the southeastern United States. So, yeah, I mean, Liz, it's been a long journey. I can't believe 25 years have flown. I mean, it's basically almost 25, I think about 25 years. And I still got a lot more in my tank. I got a long ways to go. So that's where I started. That's how I got here, basically.
Oh, I love it. And just the fact that the way that you've grown over the years and taken on more responsibility and open to that and killing it and then given more responsibility. You've seen it all, and I'm sure that helps, Mike, with the respect that other people within your department have for you, right? That you've come up from, starting from scratch.
Oh yeah, it goes a long way. My staff, I mean, everybody just really appreciates where I've come from. And you're right, starting from the bottom, basically they love the story as I started as a temp over 25 years ago and worked my way up and really been able to work with great people along the way in different capacities, and built some great relationships along the way. I mean, I show folks my CDL. I still have my Class B license, just to prove a point that I still could go out and drive a truck if I wanted to. But and I have. I mean, I know I think there have been some publications of me driving an automated side loader as well as a grapple truck in the past. But it just goes to show that it's really my way of showing everybody that I've been there with you. So it's not like I'm just behind an office just calling shots, and not knowing what I'm talking about, basically. So it's great, and yes, you do get that respect. I get that respect from everybody just for being, in the waste industry such a long time and growing through the waste industry.
Fantastic. I love it. I love your story. And I'd love to hear the enthusiasm you still have after 25 years in this. It's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, I love, let me tell you, sometimes you tend to hate the garbage, but then you tend to love it. And the waste industry is a great industry, and the people are just fantastic. I mean, it's the hardest group of people that you could think of in any industry. I mean, this is it. I mean, they're the hardest group. I mean, working group. Pandemic, hurricanes, you name it, they're out there delivering the service. Excellent service, by the way.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the beauty of the silver lining that has come out of the pandemic, is that really our industry is deemed essential, and it always has been, but now I think people respect it a bit more and appreciate it more because people tend to forget. So let's talk about that a little bit because I know that your department, your area really was resourceful during the pandemic. Can you talk about how it affected your work in your region?
Oh, sure. Early on, over a year ago, yeah, it's actually, yeah, about March of last year, I think, when everything started happening. It was first thing is, how can we make our staff, how can we keep our staff safe? So priority was one on the administrative side was, hey, we need to send everybody home. I want laptops. Let's remote working locations. I want everybody out of here, out of the office, out now. So we kind of we started like everybody else was trying to buy laptops, trying to get everybody outfit to go home, and we were able to start early. We started purchasing laptops. We sent our IT folks to the people's homes and set them up on virtual networks, and we got that part straightened out. That was about good. It's about 10% of the population that we have, the workforce as administrative or administrative staff. So we sent those folks home. Then the other priority was we need to purchase. I don't care where you get it, how you get it, just get it. Protective PPE, personal protective equipment. Just the mask, the gloves, the sanitizer, the face masks, the shields. So I needed that to happen next. We built a stock room just full of supplies before supplies really got hard to come across because to the point that there was a shortage. I remember talking to our emergency management team and they were trying to do the same thing, but for police, fire, that essential group. And I explained to them, hey, we're essential too, and we need as much supplies as well. So just and they understood because we're out there picking up we're out there still. We're still picking up. Well, everybody, a lot of the folks were home working from home. There's no way you could drive a garbage truck from home. We're not there yet. So we stocked all the personal protective equipment you could think of, gloves, everything, and we built a stock of 6 months. Always, at least 6 months worth of supplies in case of a future shortage, which again we did come across, and luckily we had that inventory really in our stock room, and then the next thing was, hey, what's the contingency plan? We need a contingency plan. We need to make sure priority is picking up the garbage. Okay, so garbage needs to be picked up because if you don't pick up the garbage during a pandemic, you're gonna have another problem in your hands. So we built a list. The great thing with our workforce is a lot of our workforce is internally promoted. So they may have been a labor worker, they may have driven a garbage truck, they have driven maybe they've been on yellow iron. So they've all been kind of cross-trained. So we built a list of where everybody was prior to their classification they're at now to see what experience they had. Because my priority was we got to pick up the garbage. Can we give up a little bit of the bulky pickups? Can we do, can you have some flexibility? Yes, you could, maybe, bulky pickups doesn't need to be prioritized, but the garbage needs to be picked up. That cart needs to be picked up. And we built a good contingency plan. Luckily, we didn't really have to use it. We kept our staff safe. Positivity rates at least in our workforce wasn't that bad. We didn't really get hit that hard, but I think it had to do with the separation, the early planning, the protection, just the constant reiterating not to even though we have 3-man trucks in some cases, we had to change our operation, protect our employees, just again to try and minimize the impact of COVID. But at the end of the day, we had a contingency plan and we had a deep bench, I like to call it, where if push comes to shove and something would have happened, we still had additional workforce behind the front, the first seat to continue working and picking up the garbage. But I like to say, and I tell people all the time, I like to say this was like, when you say ready, aim, fire, you could kind of plan along. This is ready, fire, aim. You gotta like, you gotta just go on the fly and make decisions, good decisions, um, during the pandemic, during a situation like this, because this is something, we've dealt with hurricanes, we've dealt with tornadoes. We've dealt with other emergency, Zika, the Zika outbreak with the mosquitoes, but never nothing. No one ever experienced nothing like this. But it was quite an experience, and I'm glad we've we got we've come to the finish line. I guess you could say. And there was a couple times during that race where during that pandemic where we it got a little hairy there, but again, no uninterrupted service through the whole pandemic. 20, we've seen 25% increase in tonnages. I mean, from everybody working from home, everybody just eating from home. I mean, because everybody's taking takeout. I mean, our tonnages just went up, blew out of the roof. Everybody decided to clean out their backyard, start doing, their clean out their early spring cleaning. Just cleaning out stuff to the curb. And I think the industry as a whole just really saw an increase in tonnage, which really put a hurting on our workforce because I mean we were nonstop, and on top of that, you add this extra additional tonnage to our workload. It was really tough. It's kind of stabilized now, but I think again it was just good planning. I want to also mention Swana really and David Biederman really came through with in that time with some masks for us as well, and sent me a bunch of masks I want to say over 1,000 masks for our workforce, and I think they did that for other organizations as well. But really, Swana really came through for a lot of the organizations out there during this pandemic. But it was, let me tell you, it's definitely one for the record books. It was definitely, I think, one for everybody, right?
Definitely. Now, are you seeing a resurgence on the commercial side now that we're kind of getting through and things are opening up?
Yeah, it's starting to come back. I mean, we service a small component of commercial, but we're starting to see the commercial side come back a little bit, and we're starting to see the residential kind of stabilize. I don't think the residential is going to come down to pre-COVID time. Even with growth, regardless, it's still going to be higher. I think you have seen a shift in the culture, in the work culture out there, that companies are really taking advantage of the work from home situation. I think even us, even from a county perspective, we've seen the flexibility and the opportunity there of working from home. I think it's going to be sort of a hybrid. I think it's going to be, the option's going to be there and people are going to utilize it. But so with saying all that is, I think you're still going to see the tonnage higher than pre-COVID times on the residential side, but it has dropped. It has stabilized some prior to our original forecast, what we thought was going to continue happening along the way for another year or so. But it has come down, yes, and we have seen a little shift on the commercial side.
Okay, interesting. And that's a good point that what our benchmark was pre-pandemic may not be the same benchmark for residential going forward.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, no, it's just, it's, the whole, from a company standpoint, from a county standpoint, working from home, I think it's a great thing. I think, again, companies can start looking at, office space, saving rent, area. It gives flexibility for employees to, maybe if they have that appointment that they have to go to, they don't have to take, attendance will improve because now they could have that flexibility working from home, or they could, now with all this virtual stuff, I mean, we had all this stuff at our fingertips all along. We just never used it. and now, virtual meetings are just are normal. I mean, how many virtual meetings do you have? I mean, I have a ton of them all the time. So, it's a great thing. Again, it gives flexibility. It's convenience. We're starting to get into in-person meetings, but I think you're going to see. I think the tonnage. I think the residential side is still going to be higher than what we predetermined, what we pre-estimated prior to COVID. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future.
Definitely, definitely worth watching. And I'm just really glad to hear that you all came out of this well and handled it all because it really was a trying year. So that's great news. And so, Mike, it seems like Miami-Dade is really striving to be an even more sustainable county. How are you helping with that?
Well, Liz, we got a lot of things in the pipeline. One is, on the sustainability forefront, electric vehicles, I think, are the future. I think it's gaining momentum out there. I mean, you see the all the lighter vehicles, the smaller, just your regular vehicle, regular cars out there, Teslas. Yeah, now I see a lot of the larger manufacturers like Ford and Chevrolet coming out with their electric lineup. So garbage trucks, I think, are going to be the next big thing with electric refuse trucks, and we're all over it. We actually just got awarded a $1.8 million and from the EPA through a grant to purchase less, newer diesel technology on this side. I mean, that's what we just ordered. Were newer diesel vehicles. They come with better emissions than the older ones that we have now that we're trying to retire. But the next one we got coming up, and hopefully we get that grant. We're going to buy electric vehicles. We're buying electric vehicles, and what I want to do with that is see how we could tie that to our waste to energy facility. I mean, we do have a waste to energy facility down here in Miami. Again, that was our commitment, I think, from a sustainability standpoint back in the mid 80s, I believe. That's when that plant was built. And that, it's all about reducing the waste and making something beneficial out of it. So let's continue that by, that electric garbage truck that's picking up that garbage is going to use that same fuel to fuel itself up with the energy, from the energy it's processed, from the waste to energy facility, from the waste that's processed to make energy out of that. So I think it's a great concept. It's a closed loop concept, and I think that's one of our commitments there on the sustainability forefront. We're actually in the middle of a pilot as well with the ash and seeing how we could use that as aggregate through the cement mix. But yeah, I mean, electric vehicles are definitely the future, and we want to jump on that as soon as possible and really start showcasing that down here in Miami-Dade County.
Well, it's a perfect location for that, and I'm glad to hear about that grant and that you're going to put it to good use. That's great.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I think just the connection again with the waste to energy facility. I mean, we process about 1.2 million tons through that facility, and I think the beauty of that is, imagine again that same garbage that garbage truck is picking up, that you're going to process that garbage into renewable energy. I think about it like you remember the movie Back to the Future?
Yes.
I may be dating myself a little bit, but yeah, Back to the Future. So when Doc comes with the DeLorean and he pulls up into Marty's house, and then he opens the Black & Decker food processor, and he starts dumping like banana peels and all that to power the DeLorean. Well, think about that. I mean, that's basically what we're going to be doing. So, using, we're going to think about the fuel, the waste energy station, the waste energy facility is the fuel station. I don't think we're there yet that you could actually, open the Black and Decker and throw garbage in and keep fueling the truck. But maybe that'll be the next big thing, you know. So, but yeah, that's how I see it. I think it's going to be a beautiful concept.
Oh, me too. I love that. And I'm glad you brought up Back to the Future because now we can all envision it as well. And Mike, so you said, I mean, you've been doing this for the last 25 years. From your perspective, what has changed the most? Technology, innovation, people, what do you think?
You know, and definitely technology for sure. It's come a long way. I remember, well, first of all, 25 years ago, we didn't even have GPS on the trucks. You had to go behind trucks. You know, we used to do house counts with a tickler in our hand, counting houses. We used to route. We used to do our routing on the map, you know, on a true map with pins on the map, and we had black and green screen basically to kind of do any type of route sequencing, things like that. Now, I mean, it's basically you got all these routing systems, you got GPS, you can find out, you know, how long it took you to pick up a home, of how many houses you picked up on the route based on just pulling information from a data screen. So technology for sure has changed substantially over 25 years. You know, and the great thing is, again, growing up in the waste industry from 25 years ago, now I've been able to see all that, and really I could connect the dots on how to somehow link together what we did 25 years ago and throughout that time into future technology. And one of the things we would love to do in the future here in Miami-Dade County is I would love to put tablets, and we already have tablets in some of our trucks, and we're kind of doing a pilot with that. But it's just automate everything, automate process, get away from the paperwork, get away from paper altogether. And that's another, I guess, another sustainable priority we got here. It's try to get away from paper, just into tablets, the future, you know, in technology, where that residential automated truck, when he or she is driving up your neighborhood, you know, let's say your lid's broken off, or let's say your wheel's broken, you know, they could just press a button on their tablet and be in front of your house. It pulls up all your account information, and hey, let me put a work order in for you, so you don't have to call in. I mean, they could do it for you. You don't have to call in saying your lid broke. Boom, they send a work order to our cart crews, and we get that job done, and without you having to do anything. I mean, that's really a great service delivery. So, you know, that's one thing of technology that we would like to look at, is putting tablets in every truck. Again, we already have a few tablets in our bulky trucks, where when they pick up a pile in front of your house, they could take pictures of the pile, and then you get notification via text or email that says, "Hey, we picked up your pile," or "We're on our way." And once we're done, I mean, again, it sends you a confirmation that it's all done, it's all cleaned up. So I think that's just the beginning stages of that. But it's really technology is really the future. I mean, we want to look at putting cameras in all the trucks, where somehow we could connect the dots with other departments. And you know, maybe potholes, you know, our public works department, maybe when the truck's driving down the street, you could pull information, or it could report, like automated AI technology. Basically, maybe stop signs are down, to send it to our sister departments, where you don't have to have somebody driving around looking for that, or somebody calling in once when an accident happens or something happens. So definitely technology has come a long way over 25 years in the waste industry. And people, you know, let me tell you, workforce, and I think that's something that everybody's experiencing, but now, especially, you know, after the pandemic, but the workforce has changed. I mean, you know, your workforce definitely is a lot more technology savvy, basically. And you know, it's hard to find people that want to drive drive a truck, and so what we've done here is we do our own internal training. So you could come in as an entry level labor worker, and we're going to help you get your license and teach you how to drive a truck, and where it provides you promotional opportunities. I mean, to even become a supervisor one day. So workforce has changed, where you had more of a selection out there. Nowadays, it's hard to come across experienced drivers. I mean, there's really, it's hard. You're competing against Amazon and competing against these other logistical companies, and they pay very well. And it's hard to come across resources. So I think those are two things that changed definitely in the past 25 years.
That makes sense. And so you're speaking at Waste Expo. Really looking forward to that. Can you tell folks what they can expect from your session?
Sure. So I'll be I'm doing a session on. I think I'm part of a group there that we're going to be talking about COVID and our experiences with COVID and what we did to kind of continue our operations, and basically talk about how to plan, how to plan ahead, how to plan for a pandemic. I mean, I don't know how you do that, but I think it's more about just how to make great, good sound decisions during emergency situations, and just our experiences on what we dealt with. And I know there's been a lot of folks out there giving their experience, and I don't think everybody has their own experience, and everything, every operation is different. But we're going to talk a little bit about COVID, and hopefully that'll be the end of talking about COVID. Hopefully we can just move on and get away from COVID and just get back to normal. So, but yeah, it's going to be a great session. We'll talk a little bit about that, and just how we deal with emergencies down here in Miami-Dade County.
Oh, people will definitely get a lot out of that, because you've talked about some of those challenges, Zika and hurricanes, and of course the pandemic. But I can't wait to hear more on site.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be great to get out again and see everybody in Las Vegas. So it's gonna be fun.
Yes, definitely. I think we're all pretty ready to get back together finally.
Yeah, finally.
Well, and you're one of our prestigious 40 under 40 alums, so you know what it takes to be young and successful, Mike. So do you have any advice for people entering the industry?
Entering the industry. By the way, I just want to mention we have another 40 under 40 recipient coming now from my organization here, from Solid Waste down here, Keisha Murray. She's our code enforcement manager, and she just got selected too. So she'll be going to Vegas as well to get her be recognized, basically be recognized there at the 40 and 40. So we got another alumni coming from Miami-Dade County Solid Waste. So it's great. But the advice I'll give folks coming into the industry will be, try to learn as much as possible. Listen to people, listen to everybody, because listening is a big thing. You just gotta learn from listening, I like to say. It's definitely an industry with, again, like I mentioned earlier, great people, hardworking people. You're going to get into a leadership role. Build your team, have vision, surround yourself with good people, and just take it. And I mean, when you come into this industry, get to know everybody, take advantage of different areas you work in. Because you could do it, in the private sector. You could be in sales. You could be in operations. You could be on the business side of things, and just really absorb all that. Because I was able to do that a long time ago, and I really appreciate just getting to know the overall business of on the private side as well as the public side. And I like interacting with people. Try to interact with as many people as you can, and learn every segment of the business, and you will eventually be successful in that arena. It's just a great, again, the waste industry is a great industry to be in. I think there's always going to be garbage. There's always going to be recycling, and waste industry is something that's necessary. So it's not like, I think it's kind of recession proof. It's pandemic proof, and it's very resilient. So I think it's a great industry to get involved. But again, when you get in, listen to the people, learn as much as you can, and get ready for a fun industry to be part of.
Love that. So true about the people. And thank you also for mentioning Keisha Murray, because I mean, she's special too. Her nomination stood out, like yours did, that she just worked her way up and has kept on going and has impressed people along the way. So thank you for mentioning her. I'm really looking forward to meeting her.
Keisha's a great person. I got to work with Keisha when I became the assistant director over the disposal operations there, and she was very eager to learn, and very eager to move up, and she's very motivated, and Daphne's come a long way. So she was very excited when she got the news that she was selected, and she's looking forward to it. So I'll be at her side up there in Vegas, as well. I'll be doing my session, but I'll also be there along her side during the award ceremony. So I think it's a great thing. I mean, you got 2018 recipient, and then you got now 2021 side by side alumni. So it's good stuff.
It is good stuff. And I think it says a lot about the culture that you are nourishing and fostering down there. I know that you all have won some awards too outside of ours. Can you talk about those? They're pretty prestigious.
We've been recognized, NACO Awards, called the National Association of Cities. I think it is. We've received achievement awards for our illegal dumping prevention campaigns, as well as using aluminum trailers. We've kind of transitioned to these aluminum trailers, lighter trailers, where prior we were using steel trailers, which we got away from that. Our Recycle Right campaign was also recognized, and our mosquito control Wabakia program was also recognized. But and the GFOA, we got the GFOA Certificate of Excellence for just having great financial, just producing great financial documentation on the administrative side of our organization, as well as we just received an upgrade, a bond rating upgrade from Fitch and S&P, just maybe about 6 months ago. We were, I think, the only department that received upgrades in our bond ratings in the middle of this whole pandemic. So we're doing good things down here. Definitely doing good things down here.
Well, it's great to see, and that you're getting recognized for it. I love that, and keep it up. I know you will. And then, Mike, is there anything else you want to share before I let you go about your busy day?
No, I mean, other than, look, again, it's been a great ride, great journey. Let's say that, and being in the waste industry, we got good things coming over the horizon. Again, waste to energy. I mean, we want to look at hopefully building a new plant in the near future. Last plant that was built in the United States was in 2015, and we want to be the next one to build that next new plant. Definitely, we got a lot of projects coming, and you'll be hearing more about Miami-Dade County. And then, I mean, it's a great organization down here of people. And what we do down here, I think we're pretty much, you could equate this to like a mini, like, well, not mini, but maybe like an area or a region in the private sector. I mean, we got it all. I mean, it's a fully integrated solid waste system here with landfills, collection, hauling, you name it, we got it. And yeah, you're definitely going to hear more about us in the near future. So stay tuned.
Well, you have to keep us posted. And I love to hear what you're working on. And you are like your own ecosystem down there. I love it. And you're working toward that closed loop that everyone is aiming towards. So congrats, Mike. I'm so glad to hear about all these good things happening.
Yeah, Liz. So yeah, definitely stay tuned yeah, and hopefully yeah, we'll see what comes next. But I'm sure you'll hear about it somewhere, some way, and you could read all about it. So stay tuned.
Sounds good, and I look forward to seeing you at Waste Expo.
Likewise, looking forward to it. Seeing everybody and yeah, seeing you and please, yeah, visit, come to our session on COVID and hear all about what we did down here.
Okay, we'll do. Well, thanks, Mike, and have a good rest of the day, and we'll chat soon.
You too. Thanks, Liz. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for listening. It would mean the world if you would take a moment to rate or review this podcast. And if you share it with us on one of our social networks, we are giving out some fun, nothing wasted podcast swag. So just tag us and see what you get. Thanks so much.